I want you to take out a notebook and a pen, and I want you to take notes as you watch and listen to this lesson. Because in this lesson, you are going to learn the 11 most important elements of English fluency. I, Teacher Lara, want you to be able to speak English fluently and with confidence. So, my friend, take notes and watch your English improve. Are you ready? Well then, I'm Teacher Lara. Let's jump right in. Element number 1, consistency in practice. I cannot emphasize this enough. Consistency in practice. Daily engagement with English through various activities as you're going. Throughout your day, when you wake up in the morning, when you make your breakfast, when you meet with other people. Constantly be thinking in English. Constantly be thinking of ways to describe situations in English. If you meet someone and you find out that either they're learning English or they are a native English speaker, try to speak to them. Try to speak with them in English. Again, number 1, consistency in practice. Why, you might be asking, is this so important? Here is the first reason why this is so important. Reason number 1, it builds muscle memory for natural English expression. The more you do it, the easier it will become. Here's the second reason. It creates lasting neural pathways for language retention. The more you do this, the more you are telling your brain, hey, this is a habit I want to make sure is a part of my life moving forward. It will help you speak easier, more fluently, and with confidence. And the third reason why it's so important for you to remain consistent with your practice is that it develops automatic responses in English conversation. If you're constantly telling your brain to speak English in every situation, when it's really time to speak English in a conversation, it will come out automatically. So number 1, consistency in practice. Element number 2, active listening skills. Again, active listening skills. Many times, I have spoken with students and they've said, Lara, I want to speak English fluently. I want to speak. I want to speak. I want to speak. But you, as an English learner, must realize that in order to speak English fluently, you have to understand how to listen actively. Think about a child. A child does not come out of the womb, out of his mother's belly, being able to speak. Number. The child spends several months of its life actively listening. This is the same thing that you must do. Regular exposure to native speakers through podcasts, movies, and conversations is important. Why, you might be asking specifically? Here's the first reason why this is so important. It trains your ear to recognize natural speech patterns and intonation. In order for you to be able to speak naturally, you have to hear someone else do it first. The second reason, it improves your comprehension of different accents and speaking speeds. You are used to my accent. You are used to my speech pattern. But the more you listen to others, the more your ear will be trained to understand other people's accents as well. And finally, it helps you internalize correct grammar structures naturally. Now, you're probably saying, wait a minute, Lara, you never teach us grammar. You are correct. However, my students' grammar always improves. Why? Because I'm teaching my students in my academy to follow certain patterns, to listen carefully to how native speakers speak. That will naturally help your grammar improve, because your brain will say, hey, this is the pattern they used. This is the structure they used. And you will mimic that when you speak English. So again, number 2, active listening skills. Element number 3, vocabulary building. Again, we're speaking about the important elements of English fluency. Vocabulary building, a systematic approach to learning and retaining new words in context. If you want to speak English fluently, you have to follow a plan that will help you. Improve your English vocabulary knowledge. Improve your English vocabulary usage. Strengthen your ability to use words naturally. You have to build your vocabulary. Why? Here are 3 reasons why this is so important. First, it enables more precise and nuanced communication. Instead of just saying all the time, good, that's good, that's good, say, that's amazing, that's awesome, that's spectacular, that is out of this world. You need to expand your vocabulary so that you'll be able to be a bit more precise when you're speaking. The second reason, it increases your confidence in professional and social situations. When you are able to use vocabulary words that match a situation, all of a sudden your shoulders will go back. Again, we're talking about speaking English fluently and the elements of English fluency. Here's the third reason why it's so important for you to build your vocabulary in order to speak English fluently. It allows for better understanding of native content without translation. You don't want to have to go to your phone or your computer each time you're trying to understand someone. The more you build your vocabulary, the more you will understand, without having to go to a dictionary. Element number 4, speaking practice. Now we're actually getting to the speaking part. Regular conversation practice with language partners or tutors. This has been a game changer. Notice it says language partners or tutors. As an English learner, sometimes you might think that you have to practice with a teacher. A teacher is what you need, and no one else. In reality, you can improve by also practicing with a language partner, another individual who is also learning. Why? Because the stress immediately goes away. You don't feel like they're judging you at all. They're just learning, just like you. And that will help you feel more confident. 3 reasons why this is an important element. Reason number 1, it develops quick thinking and responsiveness in English. The more you practice, the quicker you'll become. Reason number 2, it will help you improve your pronunciation through real-time feedback. Even if you're practicing with a language partner, that individual will let you know, hey, what word did you just say again? Ah, that's what you're saying. You'll realize, my pronunciation wasn't correct. Or a teacher will also let you know. Finally, it builds practical conversation skills for real-life situations. You practice, and then when you get to the real-life situation, you'll have more confidence. Element number 5, pronunciation training, a natural transition into the 5th element, pronunciation training. Don't worry, we're going to get back to the lesson. But I had a question for you. Are you tired of feeling stuck at the same English level? You've studied English for months or years, but when it's time to speak, the words just don't seem to come out. Don't worry, I got you. I have a daily English lessons course, and it's the key to unlocking your advanced English level. With my 365-day study plan, you'll follow a step-by-step system that helps you speak English fluently, naturally, and with confidence, in just 15 minutes a day. You don't need a multitude of expensive courses or endless grammar drills. Just follow the plan, achieve small wins, and watch your English be transformed. My students are already seeing real progress. Now it's your turn. Click the link right below this video and start your journey to advanced English today. Focus on accent reduction and proper sound production. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't mean that you're going to remove your accent completely. It says reduction, right? And proper sound. For example, if you go to one of the southern states and you speak to an American there, they will sound completely different from me, your English teacher. However, you'll be able to understand what they're saying. Once you get over their accent, you'll understand the words that they're using and the words they're saying. Why? Proper sound production. We're focusing on getting the sounds right. I'm saying this because sometimes English learners, and maybe you as well, get stressed because of their accents. And I say, listen, you want to reduce the accent a bit so that we can understand certain things, but make sure your sound is correct. For example, the th sound. Your tongue has to come through your teeth. The, not duh. That's the da sound, which is not correct. So, learning the correct sound, again, not being stressed about your accent, the way there, this, thus, putting your tongue through your teeth. Learning the right sound production. 3 reasons why this is so important. First, it ensures clear communication and prevents misunderstandings. When you learn the proper sounds, communication will be clearer. The second reason, it increases your credibility in professional settings. When you're able to make the proper sounds, you'll gain more respect. Finally, it builds confidence in speaking with native speakers. If you feel that you're able to produce a sound properly, you'll suddenly have more confidence to speak with native speakers. Element number 6, writing skills. We're speaking about English fluency, and we have to tackle each and every element. The 6th element is writing, regular practice in expressing thoughts clearly in written form. There's something that happens when you write things down. Again, if you're watching, you see, I have all of these notebooks, and I have many more in my closet and my office. I write things down. For you, as an English learner, it's important for you to write things down. Find a notebook. Write things down, because this will help you organize your thoughts. You know, I always talk about the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, and why. It's all about organizing your thoughts. It's all about organizing your thoughts. When you're able to organize your thoughts, it will result in you being able to speak English more fluently. Here are 3 more reasons. 1. It reinforces grammar rules and sentence structure. I don't teach you the grammar rules, but when you write, you're able to edit yourself and say, wait a minute, this doesn't look correct. This doesn't look right. And you'll slowly but surely improve your sentence structures. 2. It develops organized thinking in English. When you write things down, you are processing your thoughts. And later on, when you go to speak, You've already processed your thoughts, so you'll be able to speak more clearly. 3. It improves professional communication abilities. Even when you get into a professional environment, you'll be able to speak well. Element number 7, cultural understanding. Remember, we're speaking about your ability to speak English fluently. In order to do that, you have to understand culture, learning idioms, expressions, and cultural context. When I was studying Korean, I experienced this exponential growth when I started understanding more about Korean culture. So, why is it so important for you, as an English learner, to understand culture? First, it prevents cultural misunderstandings in conversation. Think about it. If you're speaking without understanding the culture and you offend someone, all of a sudden they'll stop listening and you'll think, "Oh, my English is not good," when it has nothing to do with your English. You have to understand the culture. Second, it enables you to use expressions in a natural way. When you understand the culture and the idioms, you'll be able to use them correctly. Finally, it will help you build strong connections with native speakers. The more you understand American culture, if you're learning American English, the more naturally you'll speak, and the more comfortable native English speakers will be when they speak with you. It's very important. Element number 8, goal setting. We're speaking about English fluency, and there are so many elements that are attached to you speaking English fluently. Number 8 is goal setting. Clear, measurable objectives for learning the language you're trying to learn, which is English. So, on this language journey, you have to set clear goals. Let me explain why this is so important. Reason number 1, it maintains motivation through visible progress. I mentioned earlier all of my notebooks. Write things down. Set goals that you can achieve. Don't set a goal to learn 150 words a day when you have a job, a husband, a child, and you're too busy. Set a reasonable goal, and you will stay motivated as you track your progress. I learned 1 word today. I learned 1 word yesterday. I learned 1 word 2 days ago. You'll start feeling better. Reason number 2, it creates a structured path to fluency. You can track your progress. Instead of it being this random goal, you have a specific goal that you are tracking, and it allows you to celebrate your achievements. This is important on your journey to speaking English fluently. You need to congratulate yourself. It's important to set proper goals. Element number 9, confidence building. Notice what's happening as we're going through these elements. Now we're getting to this part where we're looking inside, how you feel about yourself. Overcoming fear of making mistakes and speaking publicly. This is an important element of your English journey to speaking English fluently. Why is this element so important? Reason number 1, it removes mental barriers to speaking freely. When you stop being afraid of making mistakes, when you allow yourself just to speak freely, all of a sudden, your brain also starts to relax. Reason number 2, it encourages more frequent practice and interaction. Hey, listen, don't be scared, don't be afraid, just go for it. This will build your confidence, and it will eventually lead to more natural and relaxed communication. No one wants to talk to someone who feels so tense. Relax. It's okay. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. This is going to build your confidence. Element number 10, time management, dedicated study schedule, and consistent learning routine. This is so important, this element. You have to have a study schedule, and you have to have a consistent learning routine. Even though you might be living a busy life, you can find 5 to 10 to 15 minutes a day to study English. But set aside that time and follow a plan, follow a schedule. Why is this so? Why is this so important? Reason number 1, it ensures steady progress through regular practice. We're trying to help you speak English fluently. It will also prevent burnout by maintaining balanced study habits. If you don't have balanced study habits, you're going to burn out. 1 week you're studying hard, and you're like, I'm just too tired. No, make sure you have time management, and it creates sustainable long-term learning habits. Hey, if you're managing your time, you'll be able to consistently continue to study English over time. Element number 11, self-assessment. Regular evaluation of progress and adjustment of your learning strategies. The more you learn, the more you need to assess yourself. Hey, what did I learn? How am I applying it? Here are 3 reasons why this is so important. 1. It identifies areas needing improvement. Hey, I learned this, but I struggled with this aspect. Okay, you can start to make adjustments. Remember, you're trying to speak English fluently. You're on this journey, so assess your progress. 2. It will prevent plateaus in the learning process. You've seen this happen before. You're learning, and then you kind of plateau. Many intermediate English learners experience this plateau. You don't think you're improving at all. Well, if you're constantly assessing yourself, you won't experience these plateaus. 3. It also allows for personalized learning strategy adjustments. This is something I try to encourage my students to do all the time. Pay attention to how you've improved. Pay attention to how much you know now versus how much you knew last month. This will help you be more confident, and it will also help you move forward on your journey, because you'll recognize how much you've improved and also which things you need to work on more. I hope this lesson helped you. Remember to check your notes, and I'll talk to you next time. Story time. Hey, I said it's story time. All right, I'm going to call this story The Intruder. So let me take you back, way back, almost 20 years ago. This is right after I had gotten out of college and I had bought my first house. I was living in Huntsville, Alabama. Well, actually, Madison, Alabama. I loved my job, loved my house, loved my neighborhood. Everything was great. One evening, one of my good friends, he and I both studied computer science at Oakwood. I went to Oakwood University. I had invited him to come over and just hang out. He was still living in Alabama as well, so I said, "Hey, come over, just hang out." I think I went to pick him up from where he was. For some reason, we were in the same car. Anyway, we got something to eat, and we were on our way back to my house. We were just talking, reminiscing. He and I were both in this acting group when we were in college and university, and we were just really close. We're still close, still good friends. So, as we enter my neighborhood, there was kind of this, you drove straight, and then you turned left. There was kind of a winding road to get to my house. So I'm driving the car, and he and I were just kind of talking. As we were coming around the bend to where my actual house was, I noticed that the light in my bedroom was on. Now remember, I wasn't home. My friend and I had just gone to get something to eat, and we were heading back to my house to hang out. I lived alone. No one lived with me. My bedroom, the master bedroom, was on the second floor. The other bedroom was on the main floor with the kitchen, living room, dining room, and everything else. No one lived with me. So when I saw the light, I stopped talking. My friend, his name is Justin, said, "Lara, what's going on?" I said, "The light is on in my bedroom." He said, "What are you talking about?" He turned his head, looked straight, and looked up, and he also saw the light on. You could feel the silence in the car. I kept driving forward, but slowed down a bit. I said, "Justin, what are we going to do? The light is on in my master bedroom, which means somebody is probably inside, an intruder." He said, "All right, Lara. We're together. We can figure this out." So I pull slowly into my driveway. I said, "All right, so we're sitting in the car. The light is still on in my master bedroom." I said, "All right, what's the plan?" And at that moment, "This is why you need to have some ride or die friends," he said, "All right. Lara, look, we're going to get inside. We gotta get in your house quick, right? We gotta get in there quick. You got a broom?" I said, "Yeah, I got a broom." He said, "Okay, you get the broom, I'll get a knife, and we'll just handle some things. We'll figure out who's upstairs." Again, I know the end of the story, so it's funny now. But I said, "All right." We were serious. We were like, "Listen, we're going in to handle business." So I parked the car, put it in park, and opened the door. We didn't want to slam anything. I said, "Okay, Justin, as soon as I open this door, we're going to have to move." I unlock the door. He walks around and gets the knife from the kitchen. I get the broom, and he says, "Lara, I'll go ahead." I said, "Okay." So he's walking up, and the way my stairs were, I had 2 flights. You walked up one, you had to turn a corner, and go up the next set. Then my master bedroom was around the corner. So we're walking up the steps. And as we're walking up the steps, so this is something other cultures might not do, but something about African Americans. He's African American. When we're afraid, we get a little bit upset, right? Like if there's a bug we don't like, a snake, some kind of rodent, a reptile, anything. The initial reaction is fear, and then it's like, I know you did not just come into my home. So, that's what happened. As we're going up the steps, we're like, I don't know who you are, but you're about to get out of this house. Again, it's funny now, but at the time, we were scared. But we were going to handle business, right? So I have the broom, right? And he and I, oh, backstory. He and I both took Muay Thai together. We had the same teacher when we were in university, so we knew some martial arts, right? We both knew Muay Thai, and I had the broom, he had the knife, and we're just talking as we're going up the steps like, I don't know who you are, but you about to get up out of this house. So he walks around and I'm following up the steps. We finally get up the steps, and the doors to my master bedroom were closed. So he's about to open the doors. He looks at me, kind of like, "You ready?" I said, "Yep. Let's do it." So he swings the doors open. Again, it's funny now, but it was kind of like we were like, "Ah!" jumping like, "Ah!" We're about to get whoever's in here. So he throws the door open. He has the knife in his hand. I have the broom in mine. I'm kind of behind him. We're looking around the room, the lights on, and we're looking around. And I have a bathroom connected to my master bedroom, right? So he's like, "Lara, I'm going to look in the bathroom." I'm still looking in the master bedroom. He goes into the bathroom. He's like, "Nothing. Nothing. No one's in there. The closet inside the bathroom is empty." And we're just kind of like, again, adrenaline is pumping. We're like, okay, maybe he went downstairs. We've got to regroup and go back down. We're just about to go back downstairs, and then the Holy Spirit said, "Lara, look at the light again." So again, adrenaline's pumping. I said, wait, Justin. I turn and I look at the light. The light is on. Now, I'm not crazy. The light is on. It was one of those touch lights, though. I got it from IKEA, I think. And the Holy Spirit said, "Remember a few days ago when you were sitting in your room and the light just came on by itself?" Now, Justin didn't know what was happening in my mind. He's just watching my facial expressions change. His heart is pumping. He's like, "What? What are we doing? What are we doing?" And I'm like, "Huh?" I'm starting to loosen my grip just a bit, on the broom. And the Holy Spirit said, "Remember when the light came on by itself? The touch light? The battery is malfunctioning a little bit." He said, "Don't you think that's probably what happened?" So I look at Justin again. His adrenaline is still pumping. He's like, "What? What?" I said, "I think we're good." He said, "What do you mean?" "We gotta figure out the lights on." I said, "So..." I forgot that the light had been malfunctioning the past few days. I think the light might have come on by itself. Now remember, Justin was a good friend. He said, and then his body language changed. He loosened his grip on the knife. "Ah, okay." And then we both just busted out laughing. So, we got a good laugh out of it. Again, I'm holding this broom. He has the knife. We're looking at each other. And we're just laughing. And we said, one thing's for sure. If there had been an intruder, we would have won. That's my story. Maybe you had a story like that. Let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next lesson.